Welcome. Today we are going to see the experiment and it is to determine the moisture content and loss on drying. So the apparatus which we will require for carrying out this experiment is a beaker, measuring cylinder, water vessel, spatula, glass rod, etc. In equipments we will require hot air oven and weighing balance, and in chemicals we require calcium carbonate and starch. So now first let us see what is moisture content. The moisture or the water content of solid, which is expressed on net weight, weight, weight basis and dry weight basis. So what is weight basis? In this case, water content of a solid mass is determined by as a percentage of the of weight solid. Okay, means when you put in water to any solid, at that time its weight is going to increase. Okay, so that weight of the wet solid is the weight basis. Hmm? In pharmacy, loss on drying, which is very commonly called as LOD, its abbreviation is LOD. It is an expression of moisture content on weight basis. The loss on drying is calculated using the expression as percent loss on drying is equal to weight of water which is present in the sample divided by total weight of the wet sample into 100. As it is a percent quantity, we multiply it by 100. Now let us see what is a dry weight basis. In this case, water content of the solid mass is determined as percentage of the weight of dry solid. So calculation of moisture content is mostly based on dry weight basis. Hmm? So the moisture content is defined as quantity of the water that exists in the solid mass, or we can just say the amount of water which is present inside that solid. Okay, the term moisture content is otherwise known as water content. It is expressed mostly in terms of percentage. Okay, so moisture content and loss on drying, these two quantities, they are expressed in terms of percentage. The moisture content is calculated using the expression below. So this is the formula for moisture content. So percent moisture content, it can be calculated by dividing the weight of water in sample by weight of dry sample into 100. Now again, as it is a percentage, we are going to uh, multiply it by 100, right? So now there is only slight difference here. Percent loss on drying, okay, it is weight of water in the sample divided by total weight of wet sample. And percent moisture content is weight of water in the sample divided by weight of dry sample. So in this both equations, what we have to remember, the value which is present in the denominator, that is going to get altered. Okay, in LOD it is wet sample, and in moisture content it is dry sample, right? So on this basis we can remember these two formulas. So the factors which affect the moisture content in solid substances are the nature of the substance, if it can hold water more firmly or not, then degree of its fragmentation, solution in which the substance is formed, ambient humidity, temperature. Okay, so these are the factors which affect the moisture content. Now let us see what is the impact of moisture content, or why do we need to study the moisture content. Okay, moisture content or presence of moisture in the solid, it is going to affect many properties of the solid. The first property is the powder flow. Okay, if moisture is present inside the solid, that moisture, it is going to decrease the flowability of the powder. Why? Because it will form strong interparticulate liquid bridges, and hence a, a clump of the solid will be formed, okay, which will be very which will show much resistance to flow. Okay, the next property which is affected is the hardness of the tablet. In direct compression process, high and extra low moisture content affects the hardness of the tablet. Next is viscosity. Moisture content, it is surely going to change the viscosity of the semi-solid dosage form. Okay, if moisture is present, viscosity is lowered. If moisture is absent, viscosity is high. Then growth of microorganisms. This is very important for the stability of any product. Presence of moisture, it is going to influence the growth of the microorganisms in the solid and semi-solid dosage forms. So we say that our formulation, it becomes microbiologically unstable. Then lastly, it is going to affect the stability. So presence of moisture, it influences the physical and chemical stability of the pharmaceutical dosage form, because you have to keep in mind that even in presence of even trace amount of moisture, the rate of reaction is increased 10 times. Okay, so if your substance, it gets degraded in presence of moisture, then that reaction of degradation will occur at a higher rate and our product will degrade immediately. Okay, now let us see what are the different methods for determination of moisture content. The first method, and a very commonly used method, is the Karl Fischer moisture meter method. Next is oven drying method, or loss on drying moisture meter method, which is LOD obviously. Next is electrical moisture meter method, then microwave moisture meter method, nuclear moisture meter method, near infrared moisture meter method. Okay, so these are the different techniques. Now we are going to carry out oven drying method or loss on drying moisture meter method. Okay, so here what is done, the original primary moisture measurement method was LOD, that is loss on drying. Okay, so what is done in an LOD, the sample, okay, with the wet sample, okay, that you are going to weigh it first. Then you'll keep it in the oven, okay, as it is a method which tells us that it is oven drying. Okay, so we are going to place it in the hot air oven uh, for a limited period of time. Then we will take it out and then we will weigh it again. Okay, so there will be a loss in weight. Why? Because in that hot air oven, uh, because of the hot air, some amount of water from the wet solid is being removed. Okay, it will evaporate, and your wet solid, it is going to decrease in its weight, right? So once it is dried, then you will weigh again. Again you will keep it, again you will weigh it, again you will keep it, again you will weigh it. Okay, so you are going to carry out this process until you get a constant weight. Constant weight means what? Beyond that weight, there is no reduction or there is no decrease in the weight. Okay, that is the constant weight, right? So the difference in the two weights, initial weight minus the next weight, is called as the loss on drying. Okay, it is then compared with either the original weight, which is the weight based test, or with the final weight, which is dry based test. And using these two values, you are going to calculate the moisture content. So test can be manually conducted. You can weigh and put it in oven and again weigh it, or you can carry out an automated way. Okay, it is integrated weight and heating unit. Okay, so with systems called moisture determination balance, so it is going to be an automated method. The advantage of this method is it is primary method, it does not require calibration, it can measure high levels of moisture. Moisture balances, they are cheaper than more sophisticated instruments. Okay, the deficiency of this method is that all volatiles component which are present in the solid, they will get evaporated, causing improper moisture content calculations. Why? Because the if volatile content from your solid is also getting evaporated, then but the weight will be reduced. Okay, so operator error can contribute to inaccurate readings. Air ovens are large and occupy a significant amount of space. This cannot easily test liquids. Okay, in case of liquids, it is not that easy process. Samples, they get either destroyed or altered as well. Test takes some time to conduct. It is a time consuming process, um, because you have to keep that substance in the oven. Okay, so now let us perform the experiment and see what is the procedure.
Okay, so now we are going to see the performance of the procedure of. Now we are going to see the procedure for determination or drawing the drying curve for calcium carbonate and starch, right? So now first we are going to prepare the granules of calcium carbonate and starch. So the procedure is we are going to mix the calcium carbonate with the starch paste, okay? So for that we are going to prepare a 5% slurry of starch, okay? So if we are going to prepare 5%, that means in 100 ml of water we are going to use 5 grams of the starch. But now as we are not going to prepare that much amount of granules, so I have taken here 25 ml of water. First we are going to heat that water to a little bit. We will warm this water a little bit, and for preparing 25 ml of slurry we are going to weigh 1.22 grams of starch powder, so that we have already weighed. And now we will add this starch very slowly to this water, and we are going to mix it well. We will heat it until we get a translucent paste. See, now the paste has become translucent. Okay, now we will stop the heating. We have switched off the burner and our paste is ready. If you can see this, okay, you will observe here the thickness, okay, the material or the solution, it has become thick. Okay, so now our paste is ready, and you can see the translucent appearance as well. If you see this drop, it has become completely translucent, right? So now we will allow it to cool for 5 minutes. We are going to use a Petri plate for our experiment. So first we are going to measure the internal diameter of this Petri plate. So if you can, so we are going to place the scale in this way, right? Now you can very easily see that the internal diameter of this particular Petri dish is 7 centimeters. Okay, so internal diameter is 7 centimeters. Now we are also going to measure the weight of this Petri plate, and hence we have made the reading over here 0, and we will take just the reading of this Petri plate. So the measurement or the weight of this Petri plate is 32 grams. It is perfect 32 grams. Now we will proceed with the formulation of the granules. So in this mortar we have taken 20 grams of calcium carbonate, right? Now very slowly we are going to add this paste, okay, this translucent paste into this calcium carbonate and we will prepare the granules. Very slowly you have to triturate it. You have to take out whatever sticks to your pestle and your mortar as well. Still the granules or the mass, the semi-solid lump is not formed. So we will further add the starch paste. See, now it has started to stick. Okay, see, now our lumpy mass is ready. We will scrape off all the material which is sticking to the mortar as well as the pestle. We still need to add some amount of paste. Okay, now the mass is ready. We will scrape it off and once again we will mix everything. See, now the mass is ready. Okay, so here we have taken sieve number 12. If you can read this, it is sieve number 12. And now we will pass this mass through this sieve so that we will get proper granules. We just want 10 grams of the granules for our experiment. If you see this now, the granules, they are falling down. First we will pass all the material and then we will collect the granules. If some granules this stick, you just have to tap this sieve. So we have scraped off all the mass and we have passed it through the sieve. Now we will tap the sieve so that whatever material is stuck, it will get out. So now our granules are ready and we will place it. We have to weigh 10 grams of the granules and we have to take this in Petri plate and then we will weigh both the weight. We will take the weight of both the granules as well as the Petri plate. Now we will place this Petri plate on our measuring weighing balance. We will tear it 0 and then we will add into it the granules which we have prepared. Okay, so we have taken a very small fraction of the granules so as to get 10 grams of the granules. Okay, so these are 9.9. We will make the weight up to 10 grams. So here is small amount of the granule and we will put it. So it's okay, we have taken 10.1 grams of the granules. Okay, now we will take these granules and we will spread them in this Petri plate. Okay, so as to get a constant height of the granule there. Okay, so if you can see this, we will just spread them a little into this Petri plate and now we will place it into a hot air oven. Now we have set the limit of 70 degrees on this hot air oven and now we have attained the temperature of 65. So for 5 minutes, we will wait for 2 minutes, so that we will the temperature of this oven, actual working temperature of the oven, it will reach to 70, and then we will place our petri plate into the hot air. Now this is our final 10 grams which we are going to place. Just before placing, we will take the actual weight of this granules plus petri plate. Okay, so this will be our W1. So the weight, as you can see here, it is 42.13. Okay, so 42.13 is our W1. So now our temperature has reached to 70, and now we will place our granules petri plate into this hot air oven, and we will wait. After 10 minutes we will remove the material, and we will weigh the petri plate along with the granules. Now as our 10 minutes are over, we are going to open this hot air oven. We will take out the petri plate, and we will weigh the, so the weight is 41.58. okay, it is after 10 minutes. So now again we are going to place this petri plate into the hot air oven, and we will again see the weight after 10 minutes. On next 10 minutes are over, so now we will take out the petri plate and we will weigh it. Okay, so we'll put it on the weighing balance, and now we have got the 39. Next 10 minutes are over, so we will take the weight. So we are going to place this on the balance, and so now the weight is 39.46. okay, we will note it down, and again we will place it and we will wait for the next 10 minutes. Our next 10 minutes are over, so we will take out the petri plate and we will wait. Okay, so now the weight is 39.45. So now again our 10 minutes are over. So in total our 20 minutes are over. So we will take out this petri plate and we are going to weigh it. So the weight is now at 20 minutes, it is 40.45 degree weight grams, and hence now we will again put it in the hot air oven till we get a constant weight. So our next 10 minutes are over, that is our 40 minutes are over. So we will take out this petri plate and we will directly weigh it. So the weight is now 39.95. okay, we are going to follow this procedure until we get a constant weight. Okay, so the weight was 39.95. so now again we will close the door and we will wait for 10 minutes. Now our next 10 minutes are over, and now let us see what is the weight. So the weight is now 39.47. okay, so that means we have attained our constant reading, and now we will stop the procedure and we will proceed for the calculations. Now we will see the observation table. So here we have time. After every 10 minutes we have recorded the weight. Then we have the weight of the empty plate or the petri dish, which was 32 grams. Then we have calculated the area of the petri dish using the formula pi r square. Okay, so it is 38.46 because the diameter was 7 centimeters, and hence the radius will be 3.5 centimeter. Then W1, that is the weight of the sample plus the weight of the petri plate before drying, which was 42.13. Then next was the W2. Okay, so W2 was weight with every
10 minutes. So after 10 minutes we got the weight to be 41.57, then we got it 40.45, then 39.95, then 39.52, then 39.46, and at 60 minutes we got it 39.45, then it was again 39.47 after 10 minutes. So we can say at this 50 minutes we have achieved the constant weight. Okay, then weight of the water. Now how you will calculate the weight of the water? It will be W2 minus sorry, it has to be W1 minus W2. So 42.13 minus 41.57 gives you 0.56. 42.13 minus 40.45 gives 1.68. So likewise we have calculated what is the weight of water. Okay, then weight of the dry sample, that is this last thing which was constant, and that we have written as 39.45. Okay, now after calculations we are going to fill this um, tables, sorry, those columns. Okay, so now let us see the calculation for it. The first calculation is for a percent LOD. Okay, so formula for it is weight of water in sample divided by total weight of wet sample, okay, into 100. So the total weight of water in the sample was 2.68 divided by wet samples weight was 10.13, okay, into 100. So LOD was 26.45%. Then we will calculate percent moisture content. So weight of water in sample divided by weight of dry sample, okay, into 100. So again we have water in sample 2.68. Now the weight of dry sample was 7.45 into 100. Okay, so after calculating we get 35.97. Okay, so the next formula is for rate of drying, which is weight of water lost in the sample upon area of the petri dish into time. Okay, so what is the weight of the water lost? That is 42.13 minus 39.46. Okay, then we have the area of the petri dish into time. Okay, so this time we have got the constant weight at 50 minutes. So we have converted those 50 minutes into hours. So it becomes 0.833. Okay, so this is the rate of drying, which is 0.0833. So now let us complete our observation table. So we will put the value of percent LOD as 26.45%. Percent MC was 35.97 and rate of drying was 0.0833. Okay. So after that we are going to plot a graph of percent moisture content versus time. Okay. So on x-axis we have taken time and on y-axis we have taken moisture content. Okay. We have calculated moisture content for every every 10 minutes. Okay, so then we will plot those points and we get this graph. Okay, now we will draw a second graph, which is rate of drying versus moisture content. So on x-axis we have moisture content and on y-axis we have rate of drying. By plotting and joining the points we get this type of graph. Okay, so in the result we will write percent moisture content of calcium carbonate granule was 35.97% after complete drying. Then percent loss on drying LOD for calcium carbonate granule was 26.45% after complete drying, and complete drying of calcium carbonate granule was attained in 50 minutes at 70 degrees Celsius. So the most commonly asked question in this experiment is you will be asked to define moisture content, to define LOD, loss on drying. Then you'll be asked what are the impact of moisture content. Then also sometimes you are asked to explain the factors which affect the moisture content. And lastly, now we are using a oven drying method. So you'll be asked to tell the advantages of the oven drying method. So this was about the experiment of moisture content and loss on drying. Thank you.